Hey everybody, this is Malkazar returning. Another installment into the Final Fantasy XIV playthrough. Last we played, we confronted, and I guess we defeated the Warriors of Darkness. They indicated to us that they had come from a world that was about to be overrun by an excessive amount of light because there wasn't enough darkness to balance it out. And so theirs was the first, is what they called it, because there were 13, let's say, different dimensions, I guess, is what they would say, of the same world that was split however long ago by Heidelden. The 13th was the exact opposite. It was too close to the darkness, so it was actually consumed completely by darkness. And in order to try to avoid the light from consuming their world, they decided to come here and cause a ruckus. But Minfilia decided to go back with them to their world in order to try and fix the issue. And that was the last we hear of her. Now we're going to go on and move on with this one called The Tidings from Girabania, which is where we ran into a member of the Alamegan Resistance, Minago. She's saying that the Griffin is going to do something horrible in order to drag the Alliance into war with the Empire, which they're already at war, but I mean, like, a more recent one, I guess. The greetings, Warrior of Light. What business brings you to Ishgard? So I'm warning Ishgard about what's happening so we can have a conference with all the city-states. I see. Wait here. I will summon Sir Emmerich. Is the voice acting going on here? Pretty sweet. It is good to see you, my friend. It is but a pity it must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I would certainly have sent for some wine. Back but to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamigo to our attention. Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forego the formalities of a full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? No. Aw, I had a nod there, didn't I? Thank you. Our representative, whoever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handaloop that he is to lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. So she's going to be on the escort. Malkazar, pray accompany Lucia to the Gates of Judgment to make ready to depart for Gridania. I'll have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury, speed you on your way. I guess. Alright. Load already. If you have no other business in the city, join me at the Gates of Judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. We'll wait right here. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishgard's envoy. Not, I concede, there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see the garrison is ready to defend the border. You can stop there. I'll meet you in Grenania. Or do I need to go with you? I guess I need to go with them. Stupid. At least it's not too far, but still. The garrison commander waits within. Why not accompany me, Malchazar? You may see a familiar face. What is it, Artoirel? I see the new garrison commander. Well, there's Emmanuel. Malchazar, old boy, how wonderful it is to see you, and Sir Emmerich too. To what do I owe these unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you'll excuse. Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honorwa. We shall soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Yes, Lord Commander. Explain. Those villains hardly need an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as natural as breathing to an Imperial. And thus we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be sure to communicate these developments to Lord Fantasal and the Observatorium. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. So he's the commander? Isn't he a little green? I mean, I know he's maybe just young. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm, yeah? You and me both, old boy. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt, and with a little help from the veterans and Ottawa's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So worry not, old boy. Off to Gridania with you. Was that all just necessary to show me that they gave him a position of honor, I guess? Responsibility. Dumb. Okay. What a waste of time. I could have just clicked on that. That's what I tried to do, at least. Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid my eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. It seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. A pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. 'Tis like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? Alright, well, get going. I'll meet you over there a lot quicker than you guys can walk. And we are here. The envoy from Ishgard has arrived. Very good. This way, if you please. Ah, and the Lamencent party as well. Hey, Jugiti, we haven't seen her in a while. I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Emmerich. Admiral, always a pleasure. And Malgazir, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Master Malgazir, I was glad to hear from Riol that the missing scions have not been found. There is much more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend to the issue at hand, shall we? I look like Ifrit. Awesome.
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
That's probably what they want.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove.
Okay, what else?
Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people too would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed?
Yep, let's do it.
Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift, and there is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defenses seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
Why didn't you bring that up in the council? You were there. Alright, let's talk to Alphino. Let's get moving on here. That the council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good. You have yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Sir Emmerich. Master Alphino, a pleasure as always, and Mr. Salisay, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption. I had hoped to thank Malgazer for serving as our escort before other duties called him away. I didn't escort you anywhere, but okay. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation, and force of habit had made me keep to the shadows. No apologies are necessary, Mistress Yugiri. I was most grateful for your interjection when I offered Ishgard's support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is a matter of record. No kidding. Even so, the Alliance leaders are plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Elder Seedseer to accept us both. I very much appreciated the gesture. I only did my duty, Sir Emmerich. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. And full glad are we to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. It's not. Mayhap the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Revenant's Toll, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I'm curious to know how Papalymo and Ida fared in their talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on into Belsar's Wall. I'll join you the Rising Stones and on. Only like 6 more left, maybe 7. And then we'll be in Stormblood. Okay. Alright. Oh, you're outside for once. Welcome back, Malgazer. I don't know about you, but I am heartily glad that all the talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I'll ever feel at home in the realm of politics. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Jeez, how many times do I have to click on it before it registers? And I clicked on it. Not everything else around it. Whoop. You returned from the council, but what of Alphino? Did some other matter require his attention? What timing? My apologies, friends. I trust we've not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Cryle, how's Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Dotaro's keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I am certain she'll make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now, mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision? Each of the nations, Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial cop between the Resistance and the Alliance. What are you saying, Ida? You cannot seriously... One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there were some way to reach the Griffin, some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Belsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which might equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all in agreement, I'd be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as are with me, you mean? Say what you want. I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It has been far too long since I shared the shadow with the shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Ral and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you, Leviers? I will return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worst, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Malkazer? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and, while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask you to remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? Nope. To hold the fort, you mean? Very well, I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray tend to it now. I would depart for the Hawthorne Hut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Belsar's wall, and I would be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at the top. I'll meet you there. Castrum Oriens. I think that's the one. Gaius Van Belsar. Oh, so I have to talk to you first? Jeez. Just my luck. Malkazer, there you are. Come. Amarisse's spire awaits us. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to apprise us of any developments on the wall. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We were about to set forth. Everybody teleported. Indeed, I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than by the neck. So which is it to be? We best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papalymo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. That's what we were doing before, right? So let's get back to it. There's this really tall watchtower. There it is. That's Castrum Oriens, also known as Baelsar's Wall. Interesting. Look at this watchtower. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you were here to speak with our commanding officers. You will find them on the observation platform. Pray proceed. Greeting, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, see, and the sight of you might help remind them why we bothered. If memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. It's heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Oh, there we go. What timing? Report. What? Seven Hells. Fighting has broken out on the top of the wall. A full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. What's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible. We gave no such order. Of course. The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to his deception. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be very comparatively easy for the Griffin supporters to slip into Alamigo. You could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reservists would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Malgazar, we must make for the wall at once. What, just the two of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I did not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin, and if we can do that... Lady Hilda, I want to ask you that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety. I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. Dang. Forward, comrades, the time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Well, dang. Really? Jeez. It was slower than walking. From what Papolino told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straight away for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. And while I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take advantage of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason by any means necessary. My trusted companions. You mean randoms? Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your position with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all the way to safety. I only pray that we have enough time. Melsar's wall, now accessible. I hate that buzzing. No. Oh, excuse me. Nero Tailscava. Oh, that didn't take long. I don't mind that at all. Compared to what it's been all day. 12 minutes for a 5-minute queue. Nice. So we have a ninja and a summoner, so you'd think they'd take it off of Garuda and put it on a freak, but that's just me. Hey, it's back here. Oh, the key. Someone else got it. Cool. Dang, someone's on it. I'll let you handle it then. Magitech Predator. Ow. The Magitech Claw is your tank buster. Gotcha. I'll let them deal with the... And finished. One boss down. These guys going down pretty quick too. I like it. I think it's gonna be this one next. Oh no, this is the exit. Was armored weapon. Launcher? Where's it gonna hit? Everywhere. Cool. Well, hello. Motion tracking activated. Any action, auto attack, or movement taken after the status. Nice. So you just have to stop doing anything. The stress beacon. That doesn't matter. You die quickly anyway. I may actually start getting upgrades out of this. Like here I'm wearing is 240 and the stuff that drops from here is 245. So I doubt it, but let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hello. Clear the parapet. Actually get onto the wall itself. Bunch of experience all at once. Shiny blades, must be Zodiac weapons. He does have the Z title, which means he completed a full Zodiac Zeta weapon. These are the ones that are dressed like our guys, but are actually men of the Griffin. Yep, they're wearing our uniforms. There's a lot of treasure coffers in here, dang. Cool. Eh? A griffin, as in Ilberd. I'll give you, glorious and warrior of light. Come, see what awaits you at the far edge of fate. Dang, I'm getting wrecked over here. So the beak hits everybody. Turn away from him. Cool. Claw of the griffin. It's probably going to be for me specifically. Yep, tank buster. We have to destroy his swords. Or just deal with the damage. We have to destroy one of them at least. So we have a spot. Oh, look at him. Cool. Oh well. Saw it moving like that. I thought it was one of those ones you had to get away from it. Ended up not being that way at all. Restraint collar. Who are you going to restrain? The healer, of course. Ow. And finished. Nice. There he is. Look at him. He's just like, ugh. We got one combination. Awesome. One is better than none.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come. We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea.
Oh, Laurentius.
They die that others may live.
Is it you, Hase? What's up to the Crystal Braves?
Vanguards! Attack!
Oh, what a weak yell.
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Gods help us! What are we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful.
Of course, you only come to the conclusion after you're already dead.
Mighty Ralker. Grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are. As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
Good. Get out of here.
Do? This is a massacre.
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leveilleur.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power.
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
Well, that didn't work out very well. Or did it? Oh, there we go.
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Alphino. Though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Timptomati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalymo! I know how that spell works. It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
No, Ida. There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here. Not like this. Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
I can fight anything. Just in Papalymo. They'll tell me to go away anyway, so.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida.
Again.
Let us see how good a student I truly was.
Did it work? It looked like it worked. I was gonna look up because you said it's someone in a primal, and they also said that Bahamut was a primal. But I'm like, well, does that mean that because Bahamut was one of the first brood, does it mean that Midgard's former was a primal? What's going on the internet right now? Oh, okay, so apparently according to the story, Bahamut died and he was resurrected as a primal. So not all dragons are primals. Okay, gotcha. Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papalymo was my friend. I should have been there with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. As for Louis Soir wore that same look, right before the end. You think I don't know that? I know, all right, I know. There's nothing more than you could have done. Ilbert caught us all off guard. Even Malcazar was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you'll never forget what Papalymo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on, go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Orchestrion. Another brick in the wall. Oh, the puns. Another one. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words, but Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I'll send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Oh. Bum, 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 bum. Twould see me bring ill tidings, brother. Aye. Behind the Griffin's mask, we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilbert. I know not how, but he hid in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. Explain, 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 explain. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have yet been unable to explain how Ilbert came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of the clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Krile, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. Alizé's like, what? What? Without so much as a by your leave? Pray forgive Arcania Stola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. Desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with this grievous loss in my own way. By thy leave, Lady Alize, I will honor our fallen comrade through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Give me more Equestrians. Was that forever? New title? Oh, apparently I did that. I missed that one too. Malgazar, I wish I had more to tell you. Excuse me. Ow. The situation of the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meanwhile, we still have no idea how long it will be before. Communication from the Alliance, one moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course. As of Ishtol's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seed Seer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones into Taro's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. I guess.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay, Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again.
My sword is as tall as you are, sir.
You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good God, man. Are you all right?
And of course, Urianje's like,
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Are we gonna go? We're gonna pretend. There we go, Nafka's altar. Okay, let us continue. Need to go to the interesting color. It looks like it was red for a second. I'm not used to that in Gridania. Let's get in there and have a chat. Everyone's here. We were just here 30 minutes ago.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
Interesting.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
It's Nero.
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Yeah, exactly, Emmerich.
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanal since the Allegans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I am graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allegans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allegans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
No, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Cid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
A side look.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Elfino. Well, that was rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions. Not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Look, another Orchestrion. They're just dropping them on me. A box of and whatever. Cid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already underway. It would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. I'm actually going to have the airship landing. Well, at least I have all the teleports, so I can just go there immediately. Excuse me. Alright, where is he? There he is. Malgazer Alphino, ready to go? The others have stepped out into the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... Oh, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set a course for Carteneau? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall get my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. My apology for the trouble. I shall visit Y'shtola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Why did you just say I'll join you anon like he always does? Alcazar, pray accompany Alize back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter there. Let her know when you're ready to leave. Load, and then she's right there. Get on the Excelsior, yes. Oh, where am I? Oh, that's an interesting spot to be, all the way over there. I'm not complaining, it was just, I wasn't expecting that. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the Toll's Mate Square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones then? Hey look, a hunt target. Excuse me, give me a moment. Oh. Sorry for the slight distraction. I just saw some Chinese. There we go. I'm almost level 65. Alright. Probably more hunts in there. That was a gladiator one, yeah. Yep. Get in. Voice acting.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark XIV Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu! Why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly. But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
You tell him, Yugiri. Let's go kill something.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri, you draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oathbound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
He's hilarious. He's also one of my favorite characters, just he's just so over the top. Officer, wait, can I speak to you for a moment? You remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we ambushed you? Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Excuse me. You can try it on right now if you'd like. Oh, dang. That looks pretty good. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light is, well, let's say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. Aw, isn't that cute? So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ada, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say that I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I'll remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alpha may have you return to Gridania and assist Y'shtola and Kryl. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano expedition party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega while Malkazir, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of the security. Oh. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside of town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. As much of an idiot as Nero is, he's also a pretty funny character. His sarcasm is just the best. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Eileen Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're go flying into a fight. Thing is, this is almost the finale of the everything up to Stormblood. Hopefully it has some voice acting in it.
Now where was that? Ah. I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology. I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor?
Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
For all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
It's a pretty cool hammer. Alright, who are they going to direct me to fight first? Come on.
This one'll sting.
I'll stop these room minutes myself. That's my right. You understand? Stay out of it.
It's my right to strike.
No holding back.
Or I may have misjudged the enemy. They should have been
Leave this to me.
standing the soles of my boots by now. What are you fools gawping at? Don't just stand there. The captain is in danger.
With soul and steel.
You watching, Pavelino?
Dang, this place got wrecked.
No retreat. No surrender.
Look upon a samurai of Doma.
I think it goes Zetsu, just go for it.
It's all over now.
Dang, how many guys did he bring? For every epic current strike down, another takes his place. Thanks, Gosetsu. How many soldiers did he bring with him? Yeah, that's what I asked Ida. We will stand against this tide. Oh yeah? Surrender. We have you outnumbered. Wouldn't be the first time. She's right. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Okay. Behold, the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. What the? No one told me they'd have magic armor. Forward, for the Empire. The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I actually see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions. What are my buttons?
You watching,
watching, Papalero? Leave this to me.
With soul and steel!
This one'll sting. Your defense is lacking.
Watch out for the big one. Oh yeah?
No holding back. No retreat. No surrender.
Tis my right to strike.
So he wants me to take care of the giants, okay.
It's all over now.
I have you.
Oh, they're still duking it out over there.
You watching, Papalero? Leave this to me.
Got him.
Soul and steel!
The Colossi scrap. The captain hisses us and this often is the enemy. Enough. Time for tactical withdrawal. You can't just run off. Deserting a battle is punishable by death. I already stand your ground. Come back here now, please. No, that's just embarrassing. Pitiful. You bring this fate upon yourself. Damn it all, to hell. I'll kill you bastards for the last thing I do.
This one'll sting. Your defense is lacking.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Oh yeah?
No holding back. No retreat. No surrender.
Come on. Why is there fire in the middle that won't go away?
Right to strike!
Come here.
It's all over now.
And success. We beat him, but he didn't get to die. You haven't seen the last of me, mark my words. It'll be you who rues this day. There's some knuckle cracking ASMR for you.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
We're just doing it.
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
He's so excited. You just can't hide it.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
And what timing? Get him. Where did that water come from? Unless he created it with his ether. Better than most action sequences in actual movies. Get him. Kamehameha! And there they go.
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Hopefully the Scions out in the field didn't get destroyed by that.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Uh-oh.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
There are fake tattoos. Interesting. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Good at it. I know why they do it. It's just kind of silly sometimes. They'd be like, go over here and talk, and then over here and then talk. It's like, everyone could just talk to him in there. One moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. 2 Orchestrions. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling toward the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. And she just takes off. You need to wait. You must first... The Elder Seed Seer is expecting us. Right now, Alphino. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. Can I go with them too? Thanks, Yukiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Come on. Conjurer's Guild. Yes, I know they await us within. We already know that. No need to say it again. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. If you indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, I most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You were too kind, Elder Seer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in awakening Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. Well, words could do justice to such a scene. Not of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. A cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Girabania. The Primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the forces of its blows. And it wielded such magics as I've never seen. I hope to never see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the power fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere in Alamegan's soil. I'll not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed as though that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. Yep, there we go. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the Primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and that we found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes in the Girabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Terrapin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we had the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega stasis systems, so even if it has fallen to the Empire's lap, there'll be no use of them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct, without me to gather efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the resistance representatives in Girabania. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem illogical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlebalt's grasp. We're going to fight to free Alamigo. They've only been talking about it since like level 1. All these Alamigan refugees. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first take a small detour. Ishtul and the others have gathered at Amarisse's spire, and I imagine that you two would be interested to see what has come of the wall now the cocoon is gone. I guess. It is decided then. Lead on. Why are you asking me to lead on? You're the one leading. Stream program is frozen again. What chance of that happening almost every hour? Or whenever I click on something in it. I'm glad it still records.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
Especially that tidal wave, come on.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilbird's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
Let's all go bother her.
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalymo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
I'm not gonna chastise her.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalymo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role.
It's an excuse.
Papalymo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The shadows are wonky.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
More cinematic, yeah. It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalymo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on the road she is resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taro and my sister. And that is the end of the bridge quests. Let's turn this in, because the next quest is literally a Stormblood quest. He may have mentioned, but Alphino apprised me of all that came to pass to Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lisa has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Garabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those who one might conceivably save is not wisdom but indolence, correct? I for one look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire. As I rather suspect, do you? More cinematics? Oh man. Oh, is this us taking the wall? Yep. Quick march. The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. What about those giant machines that had before they killed everyone else? It is almost time, Father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. You teleported. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Baelsar's wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord, I did not intend. Your will be done. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. Unknown jerk. Aw, little smile there. At the far edge of the fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to the eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, gathering storm of blood. And with that, this next quest is called, what is it? Beyond the Great Wall? Yep. We will do that another time. Go ahead and catch you guys later.